Yeah. Ice. Yeah. Manish on the beat, shebang. All of my ops, they dead. Why do they gas me up? Where does it go? My head. How much I got? A lot. Don't leave again, I won't. Thinking and trying me, do like Bryson. Don't. Can I forgive? I can't. What do I need? Some shorty keep asking a date. She tryna finesse Poly Market for bread. Where's the beef? It's cooked. Where's the boy? He's booked. Don't even recognize none of these names at the top of the charts. I look. Am I upset? A bit. Last one you dropped was I did press play on that. Mid, skip. What should I take? A trip. Who should I take? His tennis lessons with a Nike skirt on and that popping out. You're sick. Where's the goat? They need one. The mirror's right here. I see one. My don't know how to pay me back, so he said next hat he catches a free one. What kind of clip? Extendo. What kind of switch? Not Nintendo. Y'all hanging out with friends though. They hanging out the window. What's up with gang? We back. What's in my raps? It's facts. She said she missed me, all caps. Gotta ain't better than that. What's up with life? It's lit. But I know it get better than that. I know it get better than that. I know it get better than that. Manish on the beat, shebang. All of my ops, they dead. Why do they gas me up? Where does it go? My head. How much I got? A lot. Don't leave again, I won't. Thinking and trying me, do like Bryson. Don't.
Just realized I was muted. What is up? Look, it's been a while since we live streamed, bro. It's been a while since we live streamed, so we might be a little bit rusty. We already got that out of the system, so we're back now, man. Look, been a while since we streamed. Like I said, I think the last time we streamed was week 17 of the fantasy football season, and I lived across the country at that point in time. So this is the first live stream here from Texas, first time that we're getting here in the off season, but it's going to start becoming a lot more consistent. By the time July runs around, it's going to be every single week that we are doing live streams. Alex, I appreciate you letting me know in the chat, and appreciate everybody. Oops, looking like this is, there we go. All right, look, obviously everything is switched up a little bit since the new move, so we're gonna be figuring this out here today. But I appreciate you getting to me there, Alex, on the live stream audio. So we are fixed, we are good. If any of the audio is weird throughout the rest of this or anything is off, let me know in the chat. I will try and fix it the best I can live. But like I said, we're gonna try and do this here today. Look. We're going to answer some Dynasty questions. If you guys are tapping in for the first time since redraft season, one of the things that has been changed about this channel since then, if you were tapping in for the very first time, is we are Dynasty only moving forward. So we are trying to focus everything Dynasty Fantasy Football, going from there. A says we are smooth from here on out, so we're good. But I appreciate everybody. Look, I'm going to answer some of these questions. I see we got a lot of them coming in already. If you guys want me to also throw an underdog draft up on stream, we can do an underdog draft. Just let me know in the chat down below. But I'm going to start ripping through questions, and then you guys can let me know if you want to see a draft while we do it. Rob was in here first, though. He says he has T. Higgins and is wondering if he should acquire Zay Flowers. If so, what should I be willing to accept? I think those two guys are pretty much in the same tier for the most part. T. Higgins and Zay Flowers, both of them are kind of the same for the most part. So for me, I would be trying to move laterally. I think that's fair. I probably prefer Zay Flowers over T. Higgins. And appreciate you catching that live stream for the first time. What's up, Zeus? He says, what's going on, Drew? 10-team PPR, no tight end premium. I got a trade offer for Jeremiah. And let's see what else we got here. Jeremiah Love for Chase Brown and 227 first-round picks. The picks are projected to be mid to late. Interesting. Got a trade offer for Jeremiah Love. Are you receiving Jeremiah Love or are you receiving Chase Brown? Because I think if it's Jeremiah Love that you are giving up, I would rather keep him. So whichever side has Jeremiah Love, that's the side that I want to be on right now. What's up, Grant? Appreciate you being here, dude. Mostly says, is Achane and BTJ enough for Bijan? Probably still want to stick with Bijan there. Obviously, roster construction, things like that will be a little bit dependent, but for the most part, in a bubble, you want Bijan. Alex, appreciate you being here as well. Also says he's going to be taking Bijan. Jay Gill says, what do you think of Likely's usage in New York, or what do you think it'll look like? I'm not as high on Isaiah Likely. I kind of think he's a little bit overrated. Now, he should probably get off to a decent start with Malik Neighbors maybe not being available right away, but that being said, he's a player that if he does have some decent usage to start with Neighbors off of the football field, I am looking to capitalize. And I think at where he's being valued at right now, there's definitely upside with him in his profile. I think he's like wide receiver or a tight end 12 on Keep Trade Cut. But at the end of the day, like, he's probably somebody I'm trying to down tier off of, because I don't think he's too much better than a guy like Jake Ferguson, or too much better than even like a guy like Brenton Strange for the most part. He just might have a little bit more opportunity until Neighbors is healthy. Sportsman says 12-team Superflex, Tet, and a 26-103 plus a 27 mid-second. Give me Tetero McMillan there. Contender, in non-PPR, would you trade your 27 and 28 first for Cook? I'm feeling Cook this year. I think Cook is a good pick this year as well. Probably would be willing to do that. I mean, a non-PPR, absolutely probably willing to do that as a contender to trade the lates and get James Cook. The problem is he's probably a player who will lose value over the next 2 seasons. So by the time you have a first-round pick again in 2029, Cook will probably be aged out. I traded Bryant Thomas Jr. in 2 fourths for Nico Collins as a contender. Did I win or lose? I think that's fine. I would rather have Nico Collins as a contender in 2 fourths. I'm not too worried about that one. What is the hate on Breece Hall being ranked so low? I was offered him in a 27 first, or offered him for a 27 first and third. 12-team Superflex. Feel like he can be a top 10 with room for more next year. I think he's probably a player that I'm viewing as a low-end RB1, high-end RB2 for the most part. Kind of falls in between that like running back 10 to 14 range for me. I think the issue is still the offense. We don't know how many scoring opportunities are going to be available on that offense. The quarterback play should be bad, and the next year you're going to have a rookie quarterback probably in New York that's going to be, you know, a little bit of growing pains for the most part. So I understand liking him. I think he's a safe RB2, a high-end RB2 at that. So as far as your offer goes, 27 first and third, I think he's worth a first-round pick. So I would be willing to do that if you wanted Breece Hall. What's up, Logan? Appreciate you, man. Good to see you as well. 12-team Superflex Start 11 tight end premium, half point for the tight end premium. Garrett Wilson for Ladd McConkey and Mike Evans. Both teams are contending. Give me Ladd McConkey and Mike Evans. I have Ladd the same tier as Garrett Wilson right now, so it's basically a free Mike Evans for me. What's up, AMJ? Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you coming in and hanging out. Zach says, I have Mahomes, Herbert, Dart at quarterback. As you guys could tell, I am out of my live streaming habits. We will get better, but I have not been live for a while, but it's all good. We're still rolling. Have Mahomes, Herbert, Dart at quarterback, Judkins and Henderson at running back, Neighbors, London, Odunze, and Marv at receiver. I want to get a higher end RB1. Any thoughts? Thinking of Love or 27 early firsts? I mean, Love would be great. 27 early firsts are also good, but I do agree that you have Judkins and Henderson, and I like the upside of those guys, but if you're trying to contend this year, I probably want a little bit more. I mean, if you can get Jeremiah Love, it's probably going to have to require you giving up either one of the wide receivers, which could be Odunze or could be Marv, or if you're super comfortable with it, you could go Neighbors to try and go get Jeremiah Love. But I do like Love. And if you're looking for some other running backs and you're, not worrying about the youth as much, James Cook was one that's brought up. I think he's an RB1 this year. Jonathan Taylor's an RB1. Those are 2 guys that you can probably get right now for some production for a high-end RB1. And I think both of those guys have 2 years probably still left in their tank. Jay Gill says #draft. Insidious says it's been too long. So maybe we will hit a draft. I mean, we got hella questions. Maybe we'll plan on one next time. as we do it, because we have hella questions that I got to come in and get through. So maybe I just rip through questions as long as they keep coming in. Where are we? What should I be asking for Genty? I mean, he's a player, honestly, like if you're looking in strict draft capital perspective, he's probably at least 2 to 3 firsts right now, not 2 to 3 thirds. Could you imagine? 2 to 3 firsts. So that's probably kind of the asking price range for me. I mean, he's a player who's probably should be considered a top 15 startup asset right now in Dynasty. Half PPR, crazy full rebuild, 8 firsts in 27 and 5 in 28. God damn, Alex, you're about to be cooking. The only player I have worth anything is Zay. Is he worth keeping since he's young and good, or do I move him? I just love the kid, but I don't know. I mean, to be honest, if you can get one more of those 27 firsts for Zay, I have no issue doing that. Even if it's a 28 first, you know, maybe you can get a first and a second for Zay Flowers. But the fact that you are fully deconstructed and that liquid as a team, I feel like everybody's kind of off, you know, for the most part. It's like you can sell everybody for the most part. So, and if you really like Zay, you could even buy him back next year if you want to for one of those firsts or something like that. So I think it comes down to how liquid do you want to be. I don't think you can go wrong either way, but if I could get a 1 and a 2 for Zay, I'm probably doing it with how many first round picks you have. Is H.N. and Garrett Wilson enough for Bijan and Sam Darnold? No, I probably still want Bijan. I mean, if you're in a like a 14-man league and it's a super flex, then all of a sudden we start having a different conversation here. But I don't know, man. I think it's going to depend on your roster construction. I can't imagine trading Bijan at the moment. I have got Willis as my main quarterback on a rebuild coming out of a startup, and I'm scared his value will go to 0. Ideally could get a first or tier up into a safer asset. Any other options or thoughts on what to do? I agree with you. I think Willis is a player that you probably need to be moving, and as a rebuilder, you need to probably get off of him sooner rather than later. I think a first-round pick is fair. If you can get a future first-round pick, that's fine. I would also not be opposed to trying as a rebuilding roster to pivot off of Malik Willis and just go to like a Ty Simpson. Like, can you get Ty Simpson for Malik Willis straight up if somebody wants production right now, and then have somebody who doesn't score points for you this year but does end up getting the starting job after Matthew Stafford hangs it up in your rebuild later down the road? So maybe something like that. But yeah, I probably want to get off of Malik Willis in a rebuild. 12 teams, start 11, 1 PPR, 1 tight end premium, 6-point passing touchdown. Should I trade Mahomes for a mid 27 first, 2 28 seconds, and a 29 second? I have Burrow and Murray. Also, the trade gives me 4 27 firsts. In a 12-team 6-point passing touchdown, I think I would rather have Mahomes than the 1 in the 3 or the 1 in the 3 seconds. Because while I do like Murray, obviously, you know, being a Minnesota Vikings fan, and obviously if you guys have been fans of the channel, you know how much I have defended Murray in the past. He is still a very risky asset. I mean, you're almost at 2 firsts worth of value here. I just would rather see it be 2 firsts. I need to try and convince that guy to go a 27 first and a 28 first and go from there. If he's willing to do the 2, then fine. But I got to see the 2 first. I don't want these seconds. The seconds are just dart throws anyways for the most part still. I know, you know, we value them in Dynasty Fantasy Football, but the reality is most of those second-round picks are really just like 20 to 25% hit rates on most of those picks later in drafts. So, yeah, I still want a first, man. Andrews is old and he couldn't beat him. He says, me neither. I think that's him just saying that he doesn't really like Isaiah Likely too. And it is what it is, man. I think he's a good, not great player. I don't think he's anything special for the most part. Sorry, Isaiah Likely truthers. 12-team or 10-team Superflex start 9 had Shuck, Kyler as my quarterbacks 3 and 4. I traded Shuck for McConkey. W? Absolute W. Love that for you. That one's actually pretty easy. Good job. I'm realistically a year or 2 out of winning, but still a solid contender. What should I do with Lamar? I also have Burrow in 12-team Superflex. A year or 2 out of winning, but still a solid contender. That feels weird to say that you're a contender, but you're still a year or 2 away from winning. To me, that sounds like you're stuck in the middle, and I don't want to be stuck in the middle. So if we're trying to play for the future, I don't know if Lamar and Burrow are two of the guys that I really want to go in with. I would almost rather try and turn these into younger assets. Can I move Lamar to a Caleb Williams? Can I move Burrow to a Jaden Daniels? Even if I have to give a little bit on top, but it gets me younger at the position, so I can play for the future while still not losing too much production. That's probably what I'm going to try and do for the most part. And if you can't do that, like, can you down tier Lamar to Jackson Dart and go Jackson Dart plus? Can you go Burrow to Trevor Lawrence maybe and go Trevor Lawrence plus, or Brock Purdy and go Brock Purdy plus? That's probably what I'm trying to do, is down tier those assets, because to me, it does sound like you are kind of in the middle. I don't know how you can be a contender but still 2 years away from winning. 12-team Superflex PPR start 9, T-Mac and James Cook or Travion Henderson and CeeDee Lamb contending. Give me T-Mac and James Cook there. I'm not taking Breece at cost in redraft, but I like his contract for the next couple of years. Yeah, I think he's fine. Like, the reality is he's just a safe guy. Like, I really don't think there's too much about his profile that screams he's going to finish lower than running back 15 for the most part. But I also don't think he has the chance to be a top 5 running back in fantasy. 12-team, 1 quarterback, start 8, CD 4, Garrett Wilson, Blake Corum, a 27 second, or CD for Emeka and a 27 first, Jalen McMillan. I'm okay with going CD for Emeka in the 27 first. I would rather not go CD for Garrett Wilson and Corum. So of the two options, I do like the Emeka and the 27 first side better. What's up, dude? Appreciate you being here. Appreciate you coming to hang out, all that good stuff, man. Think you'll do any mock drafts as we approach the season? As far as what, like redraft mock drafts? Because I don't think I'm going to be doing any. I mean, I know I'm not going to be doing any redraft content this year. We did go full Dynasty, but I will be doing probably some startup mocks for Dynasty, and I will, you know, in some of these Q&As, we'll rip some underdog drafts. So underdog drafts, while they're not necessarily mock drafts, it'll at least let you see single season stuff on screen while we're talking about some Dynasty stuff. So that'll probably be the closest thing to redraft mock drafts that we do on the channel, is some underdog drafts. 12-team, 1 quarterback, start 8. I have CD Neighbors and Odunze. My running backs are Genty, Love, Jacobs, considering punting one more year and shopping CD, Garrett Wilson. I think this is the same exact question. I mean, it's the same thing. But yeah, I like the Emeka and the 27 first more, and I think that does make sense. I will say, too, if you're thinking of pushing it down one more year, I would also probably be shopping Josh Jacobs. If he starts playing, you know, week 1, if he's on the field, I'm trying to get out immediately. What's good, A-Rod? Crispy Blanco, what's up, my guy? He says 14 teams, Superflex. I've been thinking about shopping Allen all offseason. I have Dart and Shuck. I'm the biggest Dart truther there is, so I want to keep him. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind you doing that. And I'm okay with exploring shopping Allen, although I have no worries about Allen in the long term. I look at him and I just really don't see a profile where he's going to be a guy that's not still performing as a quarterback 1, 2 to 3 years from now. He says, what should I be getting for Allen? Everyone says he's worth so much, but in practice, it's hard to get that. Yeah, I think that's the reality. I mean, in my humble opinion, he is so highly valued right now that you might as well just hold on to him and keep the production on your roster until we start seeing a dip. And then he kind of comes back into a realm where all of a sudden you can move Josh Allen if you want to, because there's going to be people who want to buy him. But Josh Allen's a player that it's just hard to get the production that he's been getting. And you're right. You know, some people don't want to scrap their entire team or just rip all of the pieces off of their roster to go trade up for a guy like Josh Allen. So if you are moving Allen, I think the easiest route is to try and just down tier him. So, like, can you go from Allen to Drake May? Can you go from Allen to Caleb Williams or Jaden Daniels and try and go one of those young QBs and just get a little something on top just for the fact that, you know, Allen's been so productive? That's probably the easiest route. And then you could down tier that quarterback if you want to later. It might have to be 2 moves. Let's see. How are you, Brother Mott? Rebuild standard 12 PPR 1 QB. By the way, I'm doing great. I appreciate you. would like to upgrade Monungai using an early 27, second, and third. Who should I target? Could you use Monungai in a second and try and get to a guy who people are kind of fading at the moment, like Kyron Williams? Like, could you get to Kyron Williams? Could you use that to go get to... I don't think people are going to... Could you buy like a Bucky Irving who's kind of falling right now in dynasty value? Could you go get one of those guys? That would probably be my ideas. Like, buy the negative narrative of a Kyron or a Bucky and just take your upside shot on moving that. Now, the reality is like, if those players lose their jobs over the next 12 to 24 months, you lost a second round pick. Because in reality, I don't think Monungai is going to ever be the starter moving forward for the Bears. I think even when DeAndre Swift is gone, they'll probably end up going and getting somebody else. How do you value early 27 seconds? I feel like they may be an underrated asset worth buying while everyone scrambles for the first. I don't necessarily disagree with that take. I think the reality is most of those 27 picks we're going to see just insulate in value pretty crazily over the next 12. Crazily? I don't even know if that's a word. Over the next 12 months, we're probably going to see those just insulate in value. So the firsts are going to be, you know, a little bit more valuable than we've seen in years past, especially more than this year's draft class. The 27 seconds are going to be valuable. I think even the thirds and the fourths and stuff like that are going to be valuable to an extent, at least more valuable than previous years. But I think that class is deep, so I don't mind trying to go for the early 27 seconds. Monungai plus the picks. Yeah, I mean, like I said, try and get up into the Kyron Williams or something like that. In Superflex and only have T-Law, was looking to get player capital. Any quarterbacks I should be looking at? Was looking to get player capital. I'm assuming you're looking... Jeremy, I apologize, Jeremy, but I might need you to send this one in and give me another question, like, to reword it. Are you trying to figure out a player plus draft capital to down tier T-Law to, or are you trying to just look at a player you can buy with your draft capital? I think that's kind of where I'm lost on this question. So if you could put that in the chat, are you looking to down tier and get a player plus capital, or are you looking to use your draft capital to buy a player? I got 3 firsts for Genty and Harvey, so I think you can at least get a couple for that guy that asked about it. Yeah, I think 3 firsts is probably the market. I mean, you had to throw Harvey in there, but I'm fine to do that for the most part. Would you give up Harvey for Jacobs? If I'm a contender and I really feel like I'm a running back away, I might be willing to gamble on Jacobs for Harvey, but honestly, anything else, I almost might just lean Harvey and see what happens in that Denver backfield this year. So if you're a strong contender that's a running back away, I'm okay gambling. What's up, man? The family gets in town tomorrow. So, you know, tonight's the last night that we're just chilling, but everybody will be here tomorrow. So we'll be hanging out with them basically from Wednesday to Monday evening. So yeah, it'll be like 4 or 5 days that we're hanging out with everybody, like 5 days that we're hanging with everyone. So yeah, it'll be fun, man. We're excited. Is Nico Collins and a 28 first for JJ an overpay? I don't think so. I think that's fine for market value with JJ. If that 28 first is projected early, you know, maybe you start having a different conversation, but I'm assuming if you're buying Justin Jefferson, you're probably not a rebuilding roster. I think you're probably a team that's looking to score points and try and win right now. So yeah, I think that's fine. I do like the situation for Murray too. I think it's one where if he doesn't succeed in it, we know that he's just not that guy. And we kind of figured that out with JJ McCarthy, unfortunately, for my sake as a fan. Should I trade Henderson, Rome, and Laporta with the 28 first for Achane, Loveland, in a second? Okay, this is an interesting one. We got to start doing the math, right? Like Henderson plus Laporta maybe get you Achane, and then it's Rome and a 28 first for Loveland and a second. I think the value checks out. I probably would lean in a 10-man league. I probably would lean Achane, Loveland in the second. Rome or Ladd long term. I have Ladd higher in my rankings. I'm I probably go Lad long-term over Rome. Traded my 27 first for the 105, then made another trade. Rice, Reed, 105 for 102. Parker and Brown. I'm assuming that's Parker Washington and AJ Brown or Chase Brown, but either way, I don't know if the value's too far off of AJ and Chase anyways. 27 first for the 105, then made another trade. Rice and Reed, 105. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind it. I think Reed and Parker are probably similar valued right now. Rice and Brown are probably similar valued. You move up to the 102 for the most part. So, yeah, I mean, I think it makes sense. I like the moves. For context, I have his 28 first already, so it would be a 29 first. That is to the question of the Mahomes one. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'd rather it be earlier, but if you can get the 2 first, because it's 29, make him pay you another 27, one of those second round picks. The 28s, I think, are what you had. So make him pay you, the 29 first and 1 second with the 27 first as well. That's kind of the route that I would go. Hopefully that's helpful. Let's see, where were we at? I scrolled up to try and see what the original question was, and now I lost where I was at. Grade the total trade. Yeah, total trade, I think for me is probably like right there in the A range. Like I said, I think it's all equal value, and you got the higher valued assets in the most part with the 102. So good trade overall. I don't know if telling you a trade I did would take me out of the running for the trade show. I don't think so. No, I mean, here's the reality, A-Rod. I pull every week. I go in there and I start looking at all of the trades, right? I just scroll up to the last time that I let you guys know that we were caught up for the trade show. And I start scrolling through them. If I see context, I see both parties have accepted, it's the sent offer accepted in the screenshot. It's a clean looking screenshot. You provided me with the settings. I save it in my phone. And then after I've saved all of the ones that I think check the boxes of like, you just did the bare minimum to submit a good offer for me, then I go through and I look at the screenshots and I'm like, okay, this is a cool trade. Probably want to talk about that one. Oh yeah, this one has Josh Jacobs, who was in the news this week. Probably want to talk about that one. And that's how I go through it. So it's not like I'm looking for specific things. If you've already asked me a question about it, I'm not going to pick you. It's not like that. It's more so like who's submitting quality screenshots and quality context, and then which ones of these are interesting enough to talk about and can flow well in a show where, we have to get through 10 trades in 45 minutes to an hour. So that's kind of the process, just to give you behind the scenes. But to go to your question here, he says, I'm a contender, just won last year. League's going from start 8 to start 9, so I need another wide receiver bad, non-tight end premium, and one quarterback. Dude, I got something in my eye. I'm so sorry, guys. Says traded May and Fannin for Daniels, Terry, and Mark Andrews. I don't know if I like that one for you, A-Rod. I haven't been pro Fannin. At least, I won't say I haven't been pro Fannin. I haven't been at market with Fannin. Thought he's been a little bit overrated. But I prefer May, and I understand wanting Terry and Andrews. I would have liked to see some more longevity of the assets you could get back. I don't know how much Terry and Mark have back in the tank long term. What plus would you want to down tier from Purdy to Mendoza as a rebuilding team? A second feels too little. A first kind of feels too much. But I would be trying to get the first, even if it's 28. Can I get a 28 first and Mendoza for Purdy? That probably is where I would start. If not, can I get close to first value? 2 seconds being in 2027, ideally. That would kind of be the route that I want to go. Traded May. Oh, we already talked about this one. My bad. Dart Higgins in a 27 second or Mahomes, Pearsall, and Hubbard. I'm going to go with Dart Higgins in the 27 second there. I have the number 4 pick in Superflex, 12-team Dynasty. Would you pick JD5, Chase, Bijan, Lamar, Burrow? Rank them in order. I'm looking to have a solid youngish foundation. Okay, so just rank these guys in order. For me, it would probably go in Superflex 12-team. I would probably have JD5 number 1, then Chase, then Bijan, then Lamar, then Burrow. I hate to do it in the same order that you did it, but that's the order that I would put it in. And I don't know if you did that intentionally there, but that's the order I would go. Daniels, Chase, Bijan, Lamar, Burrow. Do you think it's a savvy move to trade Mike Evans for Pearsall plus? Yeah, I mean, I have Pearsall over Mike Evans in my Dynasty rankings, so if you can get a plus right now, I'm all for it. What would you trade away Achane for? I mean, pure pick value, he's probably 2 firsts right now, but if I have Achane and I'm worried about him and I still want to be competitive, can I down tier him to a James Cook? Can I down tier him to a Kenneth Walker? Could I take him all the way down to like, I mean, we just talked about like Brees. Could you go to Brees? I think you lose ceiling when you do something like that. I've recommended to some people, it depends on your league, you might be able to just pivot laterally straight across for Omarion Hampton. I'm definitely okay with doing that. So that's kind of the moves that I would make with him at the moment. But yeah, if you want to stay competitive, try and down tier him to a James Cook and then get something thrown in because he's younger than Cook. Achane's younger than Cook, and then you also have the ceiling play there. Pretty strong contender with Goff, K9, Chase Brown, Jamar, CD, Laporta, Amon-Ra, Chuba, Bryce. Decent bench, no 27 first. Any advice to solidify me as a contender, down tiers or laterals? I mean, just looking at the roster right now, I think you're good. I mean, obviously your wide receiver core is crazy. Jamar, CD, Amon-Ra, you're pretty good there. Laporta's fine. I think he's in a weird value pocket at the moment. I do like your running backs with K9 and Chase Brown. Goff is budget option to the quarterback position, but still going to give you some scoring. I think the reality here is if it's super flex and Bryce is your QB2, we should definitely be trying to upgrade that one. And what I would try and do to upgrade it is probably down tier Laporta to try and upgrade Bryce. I'm okay moving down to, you know, a lesser tight end just to get an upgrade at the quarterback position. And if that's not what I'm able to do, then I'm okay taking, you know, if the wide receivers you have, I think CeeDee Lamb's the one I'm the most likely willing to down tier. And can you down tier him to like an Igbuka? We've seen some people say they got, you know, Igbuka in a first for CeeDee. Can you do that and use the first to go package something with Bryce Young and upgrade that at the quarterback position? So hopefully that's helpful, but you know, that's where we're at. Appreciate you, Grant. Thank you for stopping in, and appreciate you just coming to hang out, man. Thank you. Mark, what's up? Says Amon-Ra or Caleb Williams in the first round of a Superflex 6-point passing startup draft. Wow. Very close. Very close. 6-point passing touchdowns does help Caleb Williams a little bit even more. I think you could really go either way. I think in the Superflex 6-point passing touchdowns, I will lean Caleb Williams. My mock draft was regarding Dynasty, so that's perfect. Yeah, I mean, we'll definitely rip some more startup mocks. If you guys still want to see some of those, we'll do them for sure. I'm always open, man. I'm always open to you guys dropping in the chat. I say in the chat, like in here, but even in the Discord chats. If you have any, hey, Andrew, I want to see this type of content, or I think this is a cool video idea. Just wanted to pass it along in case you thought it was a good one too. Like, always open to suggestions. Never going to say, you know, don't give me suggestions for content. I always want to talk about what you guys want to talk about. So as long as it's something I'm interested in and want to talk about too and can be passionate about talking about, I'm all for it, dude. And I would love to do some more startup mock drafts with you guys. Burrito says, going back to a rebuilder, wanting to trade Willis. I already got Simpson. Oh, there you go. Let's say at best I could get a second and a third. Would you take that or wait until the season starts and try and trade him then? I think you can get a second and a third in season, so I'm okay to wait. But if I can't get a first, I would try and push for 2 seconds and go from there. But I think being patient always helps. It's just once in season gets around, you want to be able to rip those and start going. As far as trades go, right? Superflex, start 10. London, BTJ, 27 random first for Chase. Thoughts? That feels like a lot. London and BTJ and a 27 first for Chase. I think the value's on the London BTJ in the first side, honestly. But if it's a 10-man league or something like that, 8-man league, God forbid. I know we had a question in there earlier that was an 8-man league. Like, start going Chase. But yeah, I think the value's on the London BTJ side. I have to make sure Jacobs plays, then would ship him for any first. If he does well and I can't secure the CD deal, I would just try and contend until the deadline. Yeah, makes total sense to me, dude. And that's the plan with Jacobs, is you should be holding him to try and see if he plays, and then if he does, sell him. Should I hold Chuba? If not, should I shop picks or players? I'm okay holding Chuba right now. I mean, I think he has a real shot to lead this backfield, and I think a lot of the hype right now is about Jonathan Brooks. But I truly think Chuba Hubbard has as good of a shot to lead this backfield. In fact, I think he has a leg up to lead this backfield going into the season. So I would be holding him at least until early on. We see him get the starting job and then just roll with him there, or trade him in season once people see he's the starter. Would you trade Jameson away for a late 27 first? Or what could I get for him, looking for running backs or other wide receivers? I think I would rather hold Jameson than have the late 27 first. But if I'm shopping him for running backs, who could I get? I mean, my mind wants to go to Chase Brown, but I don't know if you're going to be able to get that straight up. You might be able to add a pick onto Jameson Williams to go get him. But let's see who else we could possibly get. I want to pull this up, just a list of players, so I'm not forgetting any names. You think that you talk about this every day, all day for a living, that, you know, all of a sudden you just know every name, but you space names when you don't have a list in front of you still. I think Breece Hall, Chase Brown. If you're a contender, maybe Saquon, you could go get him. Kyron and Bucky, but maybe you want something on top of Kyron or Bucky to maybe move off of Jameson. That's kind of the tier that you're looking at, though. Yo, what's good, Aiden? Appreciate you being here, dude. 12 teams, start 11, 1 PPR, 1 tight end premium, 6-point passing touchdown. The trade on deck as I silently retool to get the 101. Ooh, we're trying to do this sneaky. I like that. Rice for a mid-27 first in 2 seconds. Is that enough considering what my goal is? Yes, that is definitely enough, and I would probably be trading Rice for that package if I'm trying to go be sneaky and retool and get the #1 pick next year. NDK says, how aggressive should I be buying quarterbacks in a rebuild? Feel like I will be ready to compete in 27 like Jordan Love is a buy low. I do agree. You know, you can be aggressive. Keep in mind, though, one thing that people forget is as you are rebuilding, who's the highest scoring point asset that you can have on your roster every single week? It's quarterbacks. So, you know, if you don't love the quarterbacks or fully believe in them long term, I suggest moving them because they are going to score the most points in your lineup in a super flex league. So if you really believe in Jordan Love, you can buy in him and see his value rise. But 27's quarterback class is really good. So if you do need quarterbacks, you can have first round picks in 27 and just draft some of the quarterbacks next year. So just something to keep your mind on. All my contenders have running backs and no wide receivers. Dude, that's kind of what happened with most people this year. I feel like, you know, everybody who won kind of had strong running back rooms, and the market for the running backs have been inflated all off season in Dynasty. I think there's a crash coming. There's a gut feeling in me that just feels like there's a crash coming to the running back market. We'll see if I'm right, but that's just my gut feeling. I know somebody asked me to do a gut feelings video. That's one of my gut feelings. Thoughts on Achane for this year? Still think he's an RB1. Probably somewhere in the running back. I would say probably finishes somewhere in the running back like 6 to 12 range. Mid to low end RB1. 12-team Superflex. I traded away T-Law before I freaking hate that guy for Bo Nix and a second. Have a competitive team, but probably not top 3. T-Law for Bo Nix in a second. I don't have an issue with that. I actually think T-Law and Bo Nix are in the same tier. Bo Nix has been a top 10 quarterback both seasons that he's been in the NFL. So going in the same tier and getting a second sounds good to me. And if you really hate T-Law like that, then it sounds like it's going to help your mental health there. What do we got? Caleb, what's up, dude? Jadarian Price, a mid-second for Breece. Who you want? RB3 for me. Everyone hit the like button for Andrew. I would rather have Brees than Price in the second. So, yeah, I'd rather have Brees. I think the ceiling's higher and the floor's higher with him, too. I don't really think the ceiling is... I don't think Price has top 10 ceilings in fantasy. So, he's a player that I... Jadarian Price feels like almost the fancy version, because he got first-round draft capital. He almost feels like the fancy version of a Cam Scatterboo. I know that's going to make some people mad. Jeremy says, trading Genty for player capital. I have Bijan, Bucky, Chuba, and Ja'Cory, Krosky, Merritt. I still get confused when you say player capital in these questions, Jeremy. Maybe this is a me problem. But trading Genty for player capital, I mean, if you're trying to move him for a player, I don't know if I would really move him for anybody other than like Gibbs. It would be Bijan and Gibbs that would be the two that I'd have above him, and that's it. Jeremy, you're going to need to teach me what this player capital shit is, dude. I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. I'm trying to answer your question. I really am. As a contender, half PPR, 0.15 points per carry. Would you trade a mid to late 27 second for RJ Harvey and add him to Judkins and Bucky? Yeah, I would. I think RJ Harvey, the pendulum swung too far, and I think Harvey is actually kind of a buy now at this point in time. And if this is the price, I'm good to buy him there. Are you still playing Arc Raiders? Yes, I am, man. I still am. And unfortunately, you know, I feel like it's died down a little bit, mainly because they haven't really been giving us too many crazy updates. I wish we'd have some more updates, but yeah, I have been still playing it. Been sprinkling that in with a couple other things with my other brother that I play with. So is this a weekly thing again? It's going to be very soon. I wanted to do that because I didn't have time. I've been doing so many videos this week that I didn't really have time to record, edit, plan, and shoot another video before my family gets into town. So I figured the easiest thing to do was still get a piece of content out by going live. But come July, this will be a every single week thing. Unless you guys really want this to be an every single week thing right now. And once my family gets out of town, I guess leaves town, then maybe we can start doing that early. You guys let me know. If you really fuck with the live streams and you really want the live streams to be a thing that are happening every single week, starting right now, hit the like button, man. The more you guys like this, if you're watching this on replay or whatever, if you like this, it's the best, it's the easiest way for me to see content that performs well. When I can go over onto my YouTube studio and see that this, you know, video got a bunch of likes, there's a lot of comments on it, people are engaging with it. I'm like, oh, you guys like that piece of content. Maybe I should do more of it. So that's the best way, you know, to show me that you guys want more of a specific type of content. Lad or Luther? I would go with Lad right now. Is JT worth a 27 late first and a second? I think so. I actually would probably prefer Jonathan Taylor to the draft picks right now if I'm contending. 12-team Superflex start 10 traded Amon-Ra, Lemon and Myers for London, Rashi, and Flowers. Okay. I think it's probably a fair trade. Amon-Ra is the best player in that deal, but obviously the better side of the package is going to be the London, Rashi, and Flowers side. How do you feel about Travion Henderson? I'm less bullish on Travion than I was last year. The fact that he wasn't able to take over that backfield in year one with Ramondre Stevenson, who quite frankly, I hate to say it, but quite frankly isn't that talented of a running back, does worry me a little bit. But he's still like a top 12 dynasty running back in my rankings. I'm less bullish on him right now than I was last year. Can you elaborate on why Flowers over T? The main thing is they're both in the same tier, but I do think that Zay Flowers is going to see more targets. T. Higgins is a little bit older than Zay Flowers. There should be a larger target share for Zay Flowers than there is T. Higgins. And overall, probably just a player that is going to be a little bit more reliable in your lineup than T. Higgins. Not to be dramatic, but not like my trades has me punching air. Does it make you feel better knowing the context that I also have Amon-Ra, Jettas, and Neighbors? Okay, hold on. Let's see. And I promise I'm not going to just say some shit to make you feel good. As much as you might like that, A-Rod, I'm not going to just tell you something to make you feel good. I'm just going to give you my honest opinion. Does it change my opinion knowing that you have Amon-Ra, Jett as neighbors? No, it doesn't change my opinion, because why do you need Terry McLaurin then? You have 3 elite wide receiver ones. What do we need Terry McLaurin for? I know you went to start 9, but Fannon's just a better player than Mark Andrews, and May's a safer player than Daniels. I'm sorry, A-Rod. I can't help you feel better about this. That's just where I'm at, bro. And it's okay to be dramatic. You're allowed to be dramatic sometimes, bro. It's your life. Is Keenan Allen worth a hold, or is he done playing? Shallow leagues, I'm okay dropping him. I think, Rob, you've mentioned before that you play in an 8-man league. If I'm remembering correctly, if it's an 8-man league, I'm definitely okay to drop Keenan Allen. Have the 102 and the 104. Wide receivers are CD, Igbuka, AJ Brown, running back, New England, Rico. What the hell is that? Oh, running backs for the New England running backs. Okay, Rico, Dobbins, Monungai. Can I still take Tyson at 4? Yeah, and you should still take Tyson at 4. He's best player available probably for the 104. So yeah, I'm all for that. Just take the best player available. Thoughts on getting Josh Allen for 2 27 first and a 27 second? Yeah, I'm all for it. Josh Allen is going to be a game breaker, and 2 first and a second isn't necessarily something that I feel like is going to break me if I'm trying to run for a championship, and Josh helps you win a championship right now. Mark says startup mocks would be fire. Would you guys like those? Let me ask this question, a follow-up question. Do you guys like those as pre-recorded pieces of content, or would you like those to be a live stream where we can chat like this and answer questions, but we're also doing a startup mock draft? Would you prefer that over doing an underdog draft? Like, is that better for you guys? Loveland or Warren? I would go Loveland over Warren right now just based off of the offense, but they're both in the same tier for me in tight end 3 and 4 in my rankings. Would you do a 27 first for Ladd? If I'm trying to contend and the first is mid to late, I'm okay going Ladd McConkey. If it's projected early, I'd rather hold the first. Are we buying the DJ Moore hype? I do think DJ Moore is in a position here to be a better point scorer than he's been in previous years. I think he's probably a wide receiver 2 for fantasy purposes this year. I don't think he's going to be a wide receiver 1. So maybe that's not buying the hype. I don't know really where the hype's at on him. Hey, Rod says genius content idea. Slapbox war. Winner gets to get the best player on the other person's team. That would be some crazy content. I don't know if it's a genius content idea. That would be some crazy content. I'm sure you guys would love that. Jay Gill says, what are your thoughts on the Bears wide receiver situation? Who do you have, Burden or Odunze? Pure talent. My gut tells me Rome. Based off of cost investment, it seems like Burden has passed Rome in Dynasty, so Rome's actually the cheaper option. It's really a coin toss. I mean, to give you real perspective here, in my leagues where I've had Rome and I've had Burden, I've slimmed it down to where I'm literally 50-50. 50% exposure to Odunze, 50% exposure to Burden. Unfortunately, I have no Loveland, but I went 50-50 with that. So it truly tells you that I kind of think this is a coin flip. But I want it to be Odunze. Loveland definitely gets in the way. And he's honestly probably the answer. When you talk about the 2 wide receivers, the answer is actually probably Loveland. 12-team, start 10, Superflex, 0.75 tight end premium. Just have too many running backs. Bijan, Genti, Bucky, Chuba, JMC, Vidal, Mitchell, wide receiver CD. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Where are we at? Contender. Just have too many running backs. Where's the question? 12 team, start 10, Superflex. I'm going to try and figure. Perfect. Okay, I'm glad, Jeremy, we're on the same page. Answered perfectly. Okay, so I'm glad. Yeah, Genti for Sam Darnold and Hampton. I probably wouldn't. I would be wanting to go up with Genty, but he's my RB3 right now. And then to go to your question right here, you know, you said you have too many running backs. I am understanding now why you're saying that, because you want to move one of these guys with Bijan, Genty, Bucky. I actually am very comfortable with your running back room. And I think there's enough risk there with Bucky and Chuba long term that I'm okay being a little bit heavy here in the preseason with the running back room. So I honestly don't know if I would really even be moving Genty or Bucky, to be honest. I think I'd move forward with those guys. Insidious, my guy, keep him in check, bro. Who do you think will be the lead back on the Commanders? It's going to be a gross prediction. It's what my gut's telling me. I think Rachaad White is the most productive fantasy running back for 2026 in that backfield. Scat easily outscores Price. Very possible. I mean, I don't even think it's that hot of a take. What's up, Frizzle? I apologize, folks. This is one thing that you guys are going to have to get used to, by the way. Where we moved in Texas, there's a railroad right next to us, and you're going to hear trains come through. There's one coming through right now, so if it gets loud, I apologize. That's going to happen on live streams now. In New Jersey, we didn't have to worry about that. In Texas, you're going to have to worry about that shit. It's going to happen, so get used to it. What's the highest you will pay for Jaden Higgins? I'm not going to a first, but I'm willing to do an early second for Jaden Higgins. I mean, you were basically using an early second on him last year. If it's the same thing, it's the same thing. I'm just trying to buy him at that price. He's supposedly having a pretty good OTA right now, too, so he's somebody that's kind of trending up at the moment. Really want a piece of that Texans offense? Yeah, I don't blame you. And like I said, he's trending up. Yo, I'm on the board. Best options are Bernard, Antonio Williams, Stribling, Singleton. Who should I pick? I've been very pro Jeremy Bernard basically all offseason. He's been one of my guys. If you had to ask me, it's Jeremy Bernard. He's the pick, man. If you also want to go check out ffbdraftkit.com, go to ffbdraftkit.com. That's my rookie kit. I almost said guide and kit at the same time. It's my rookie kit that I made free for you guys. So ffbdraftkit.com. Hell yeah, we like this live Dynasty content, but we don't want to burn you out though either. No, I mean, I'm good, man. I'm doing content basically every day, every single hour of the day, so I'm good, man. If it ever feels like I'm getting burnt, I'm gonna take a little break. Just know me. My wide receiver room is Garrett, Zay, Ladd, Josh Downs, Chris Bell, Elijah Surratt, Luke McCaffrey. Am I cooked? No, I don't think you're cooked. I don't think you're cooked. I like Garrett. I like Zay. I like Ladd. I think you're missing like a hammer high upside piece. And you do have some upside with like Chris Bell and Elijah Surratt, but you lack a little bit of depth and you lack some hammers. But I do like Garrett, Zay, and Ladd. So are you cooked? Medium well. That might be what you are. Live stream draft. Okay, yeah, we might be able to do the live streams for those drafts more. I know, we've done the pre-recorded, but damn, am I really that far behind? I feel like I asked that question 15 minutes ago. Okay, yeah. What's up, man? Roman's going to be the man. He just has to be. That's what I tell myself too. He has to be. The draft capital, same draft as his quarterback. It has to happen. You watching the NBA Finals? Yes, I am. And I'm watching these Spurs and Wembanyama play dirty, man. I'm kind of rooting for the Knicks, and I don't know if it's because I was in their backyard for, a couple of years. But, man, I'm rooting for the Knicks right now. Jalen Brunson and that team is really fun to watch. Thoughts on Antonio Williams? I like him a lot, man. I think he's a player who kind of reminds me of a Zay Flowers type. Maybe he can be that slot wide receiver for the Commanders, grow into this Z option in that offense. But he's a player that I like, man. I have him as a top 15 player in this draft. All right. This is lit. Never catch lives because I'm always working. Well, I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. I like going live and answering questions with you guys. It's just fun, man. Alex says the answer is always Jeremy for Andrew. I mean, it's to an extent. Jeremy's my 12th rated player in this draft class, so I have him as I basically have him as the 112 in your dynasty leagues. I just love the tape, man. I think he's so good. We'll see what happens in Pittsburgh, but I'm trusting my eyes with Jeremy Bernard. How many leagues are you in, and how many of those are active in these June, July, summer months. I play in 4 Dynasty leagues, and every single one of those leagues is active basically 24/7, 365. The leagues always renew wild card weekend of the NFL playoffs. So we basically get a 2-week break from the championship week in week 17 to the wild card of the NFL draft after the wild card is over in the not in the NFL draft, in the NFL playoffs. And it's open all the time from there on out. Guys are dropping players, making trades, doing things like that. It helps that we all know each other in real life. For the most part, I would say about 70% of the league in all of those leagues has played with each other in numerous leagues, met each other at least at one point in time in real life, shook hands, whatever, been at a draft party or something like that together. So it does help that we know each other for the most part. But also it comes down to recruiting active members, and I am the commissioner of all of those leagues. I don't play in any leagues that I'm not the commissioner of, and that's not by, any specific reason. It's just kind of the way that it's worked out. I always don't mind being the commissioner of the leagues, and when it comes down to it, people want me to be the commissioner because I kind of just have a system that people like. So yeah, it's just kind of getting the right managers in there, but we're active all the time, man. So 4 leagues active all the time, basically all year round. On the clock, I traded the 106 Price and a 27-1 for the 102 and the 110. I'm a huge Tate believer. Overpay for my guy, or is it fine? I think it's absolutely fine. I would say the 27 first is worth Tate, and the 106, you're basically moving it back for 110. I don't think there's an issue here, man. I think you're good. Most people would probably say Tate is over a random 27 first right now. One quarterback, I have Dak, thinking about buying Stroud. What are your thoughts? In a 1 QB, I don't think Stroud really has the ceiling to be a super high scoring fantasy asset. In 1 QB, I'm probably not interested in Stroud for the most part. But Stroud is getting at a spot where I think the narrative, kind of how I said with RJ, RJ Harvey, where the pendulum swung too far and how he's kind of becoming a buy. I do agree that Stroud's kind of getting into that range where I'm considering buying Stroud at his current price. Would you sell Marvin for Watson in the 27-second early? No, I'd rather still have Marvin now. Do you want LeBron to come back to LA? I don't, honestly. I really don't. I think it's time. He played some good ball in the playoffs, but I think it's time to hand that team over to Luka Doncic and see what they can do. The reality is you see some of these teams in the NBA finals right now. I mean, we have 2 very good examples of it. And even, you go back to the Western Conference and the Eastern Conference finals, 2 teams there, the Thunder, the Spurs, the Knicks, who've built a quality roster that meshes well. They have role players, guys that know their role. They do their job. You have superstars, all that stuff. Like, they built full-on teams. And for better or for worse, LeBron's still one of the greatest basketball players of all time. He is not really been on a roster that has been built like a team like that. It's always kind of patchworked together through free agency and things like that. Really, the last team that he probably played on that was built where everybody had a role would either be the Dellavedova Cavs. It's probably the Dellavedova and Kyrie Irving Cavs. That was the last team that he was built, or that was built around with a full roster of guys that had a job. I just don't think in LA he's really had that, and that's a weird way of me saying, but I don't know if it's necessarily LeBron's fault, but with LeBron comes some expectations and some narratives and things like that. I think if he leaves town at this point in time, they can just start focusing on building around Luka and don't even have to think about pleasing LeBron or pleasing Rich Paul or thinking about any of that stuff. So I kind of just want him to build around Luka. I think when you made the Luka trade, Luka was immediately the player of the future for LA. Rob says, I have JT and Jacobs. Am I cooked? No, I don't think you're cooked. Because I don't think Jacobs is like dead. I think you're just, it's risky. You just got to be patient right now. Big 3 wide receivers from this year or big 3 from a couple of years back after seeing what we've seen. Marvin Harrison and Rome haven't hit their ceilings and neighbors can't stay on the field. I would still prefer that 2024 class. I liked their tape coming out more. I mean, obviously hindsight is always nice when you look back at those players, but I would not be shocked to see this class land somewhat similar to those guys so far, kind of floating in that wide receiver 2 range. Braun back to the Cavs, baby. I mean, I would like that for him. Go back home and do the retirement tour in Ohio. Different team, 12 team, start 9.5 tight end premium. Quarterbacks are Stafford, Dak, and Love. Running backs are Gibbs, Saquon, RJ Harvey. Wide receivers are Puka, CD, Jamar, Omar Cooper, Henry, Njoku, Julian. Injuries. Should I trade Love for draft capital in 27? I would say no. Obviously, it does depend on the amount of draft capital. But I think Stafford is a short-term rental. Dak's the perfect QB2 for contenders just because of his age, but he still gives you that high-end production at times. I think Love is kind of needed on this roster because if you move him, you're going to have to go find another quarterback anyways. Appreciate you, Insidious. Yeah, man, I appreciate you guys having me busy too. Like I said, we were going to rip a draft, and then it was like, yeah, you guys got a lot of questions. Maybe we just answer these. So it tells me we need to do more of these, so we'll do them. Appreciate you stopping in, man. And I am going to mention, I know we got some questions above this. I'll get through what's left in the queue, but once I catch up to the bottom, we're going to wrap it up. I usually only go for about an hour. Like I said, I got family coming in town tomorrow. I still got some shit to do. So we'll wrap this one up after I get to the bottom. But this is my final call on questions. So if you guys still got questions, throw them in the chat. I'll try and speed through them as best I can. Insidious, you the GOAT, bro. All right. Let's go to Scott, who says 16 team, Superflex, took over an orphan needing a rebuild, gave up CD, Saquon, Goff, and Schultz to a heavy contender for JSN, RJ, Gunnar, Hellman, Cousins. Good deal. We'll flip JSN at some point. You upgrade from CD to JSN. Saquon goes to Harvey, Goff. It's expensive. I think it's going to come down to, Scott, what can you flip JSN for? If you can flip him for a bag, I'm all for it. I think this one's going to be one where you need to see the secondary move to really know how you feel, because right now it feels like you're caught holding a JSN bag that you still need to capitalize on. And that's not a bad thing to hold JSN, but in your case where you want to flip him, you're kind of holding it. So if I had a team that was built around him and a coach like Phil Jackson, how many rings does he have? Phil's the GOAT, man. I love Phil Jackson, was my guy, and Kobe in that triangle offense, dude. But I don't know. Probably a lot, right? If you have Phil, if everything goes right for you and you're LeBron James, then it probably makes sense. Who's one player at each position that you are higher on than consensus? Quarterback right now. Let's go through this quickly. I like the question. It's creative and I love it. Jalen Hurts, I'm higher on than consensus right now. Quarterback 11 on keep trade cut. I think he's higher than that. Wide receiver, I am higher on. I'm higher on BTJ than consensus. They have him as wide receiver 26. I think he needs to be higher than that. I think he bounces back in year 3. Running back, I'm going to go with Chase Brown. I'm higher on Chase Brown than consensus. He's the RB13, but I truly believe this is a player who has top 5 upside in 2026. And then tight end, who am I higher on than consensus? I'm going to go with Kyle Pitts. And if you've been around the channel for a while, you know this is a real eye-awakening moment. But Kyle Pitts, I'm higher on than consensus. At tight end 8, I think he should be... I think he should kind of be tight end 6, dude. So, yeah, those would be my names. I got promoted to joint commissioner after prompting them to renew the league at the draft. I'm still super dead until August, though, making sure I don't dump offers out of boredom. That's always the trick, man. In the offseason, don't trade out of boredom. I caught myself doing that last night, and I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Why am I sending an offer like that? No point in me making a move like that. Appreciate the love, Spacenfeld. What should I do with Travis Hunter in a rebuild? Hold or sell? He's a hold right now in a rebuild, but if he starts out hot, flip him, man. Appreciate you, Alex. You have a good night as well. Would you trade Pickens for Chase Brown? I think I would rather have Pickens right now, but if you need running back, I think that's fine. But Pickens is the player I would rather have in a bubble. Appreciate you as well. He says, hey, man, looking to down tier off Lamar, contending 12-team super flex. Happy PR start 10, 3 wide receivers, 4-point passing touchdowns. Lamar and Pickens for Purdy and Jamar. I think that's the perfect type of move. Purdy and Jamar is fair for Lamar and Pickens. If you need the upgraded wide receiver, can't get better than Jamar Chase. Last question, Genty and a 27 second for London, Cook, and a 27 fourth. Now that, brother, is a pretty damn good offer. I think I might lean London and Cook there if I'm trying to contend. That feels like good value. Is Quinn Ewers a good waiver pickup after a startup? Maybe, but even then, I think they draft a quarterback of the future next year. How do you feel about Andre Yoshivash breakout year? They've been saying that for years, man. It's not going to happen. Another option, Lamar and BTJ for Purdy in London. I would rather do the I think I'd rather go for the Jamar Chase. And then last question here from Scott. Oh, I guess he says thank you. So that's the last one. We did get caught up. So thank you. I appreciate you as well. Appreciate everybody coming and hanging out. Look, hit that like button if you guys got your question answered tonight. Appreciate everybody for coming and hanging out. We will do this more often. It's been a while since we did them, but I love streaming and I love talking to you guys and answering your questions. We'll figure out more things to do and make some more live content. As we get into the summer months, July, August, approach the NFL season, all that good stuff. Just want to let you guys know, I know some of the people in chat have already referenced it. I will not be making content this week. I got family coming to town, so I'm going to be taking a week off, but we will be back for the Dynasty Trade Show and more next week, probably Thursday, Friday, Saturday-ish type of range. So until then, I got one more pre-recorded video coming out on Thursday. But that's about it. You might not even miss me, man. So, do what you guys got to do. Make sure you guys are subscribed if you haven't been already. And nothing else for you guys today. So I'll see you on the next one. Till then, though, peace out, guys.